I'm particularly glad to welcome today the project that will be displayed as a success story. It is a true success story. First of all, I want to thank the customer, Puuilo, Finnish retail company, very innovative. And I want to extend a special welcome to Johanna Hietali, the IT manager of Puuilo, Jarno Kumulainen, IT manager of Puuilo as well. This particular success story will be introduced by Marko Haponen, the partner and the founder of Sprint IT, the partner that enabled this true story to become successful, to Esa Hapa-Aho, the project manager, Puuilo and Sprint IT, and Vitali Eremev, VentorTech, responsible for the web application from the smartphone. Please help me in welcoming these gentlemen.
Thanks, Johan, and good morning to everyone. What a great Odoo experience we have had here. This is my first time, and I've really enjoyed the feeling, and especially the party last night. In fact, when this case Puuilo happened, I was actually working as a CIO for that company, helping them to find the very best ICT solutions for their business. That's why this story is very, very familiar to me. It was early summer 2015. I visited the CEO of Puuilo, Markku Tuomaala, first time. He needed some help to maybe improve webshop or logistics or something. But when figuring out the real needs and pains of Puuilo, it showed up that actually all the ICT systems had to be rebuilt from very scratch. The company had grown very, very fast during past 10 years, and nobody had had time to figure out the real IT needs and solutions. Actually, just 20 years before that, they were selling the wooden toys at open-air marketplaces, and now they're running a huge chain of warehouses. It's a very typical situation at enterprises in Finland, no time for IT, and I assume that this is very existing picture also globally. Actually, that was the very beginning of the process that a few months later became a success story for Odoo and Sprint IT. But of course, we didn't know that at that time. Because first we had to detect the main pain points at Puuilo. All the products and business data was fragmented all over the company, mostly in Excel sheets in everyone's personal hard drives. All that info was maintained and updated manually, also to POS and webshop. There were no way to get up-to-date stock data or inventory value, and if you got some sales reports, you couldn't trust on them, and you had to check everything manually. But nevertheless, there were 13 IT vendors and 11 servers all over Finland, tons of overlapping processes and tasks going on. Those were the pain points. Then the needs for Puuilo at that time. They were quite obvious. All the product and business data has to be maintained in one place, with easy access for everyone and every system that needs it. Especially prices must be absolutely right in all the sales channels. At that time, it was like that. Also, the stock data has to be available. It's quite difficult to sell products in web shops if you don't even know if we have those products on stock. And also we had to have a solid IT strategy and overall ICT architecture no more just IT procurements just to fulfill some special needs. That evaluation process showed clearly Puuilo really need to renew the way of working and all the IT systems to handle the change. 120,000 products, almost 20 warehouses worth 10 million euros importing goods directly from China, and annual turnover over almost 100 million euros. It was totally impossible to manage that all manually anymore. Well, this was the result we were figuring out. We need an ERP with some functionalities. We need very, very good product information management system. And of course, when these are okay, then we need some supporting systems. Those ERP and PIM, they are the heart of Puuilo's new system. And then some core systems like POS, webshop, business intelligence, financial things, and so on, and some supporting things. This was the result. We didn't know at that time, is it possible, who could do it, who could possibly had a system to build something like this, but this was the need. Then in Puuilo, we did our best to find the solutions to fulfill these needs. We were briefing over 50 different systems or companies. We calculated the overall costs in next 3 to 10 years, checked the background, reliability and reference cases of different systems, and then we got near, and at last we decided the system will be Odoo. Thank you. And some integrations as well. In my point of view, the lesson of Puuilo case story clearly points out that Odoo is a full-blooded major system and totally competitive with the old school systems like SAP, Dynamics Family, Digia Enterprise or NetSuite. And Odoo is totally capable even to win the race, although when participating, it's ranked as an outsider. It also changed my way to think about ERP. I have always been, all my life, all my career, been an IBM and Microsoft guy. But now, because of this competition, this case, I'm working to Sprint IT and Odoo. I will soon tell you more about benefits that new system gave to Puuilo, but before that, please welcome my dear colleague Marko.
Thank you, Esa. Thank you, and I'm glad to see all of you here today. I'm going to walk you through with a couple of facts and figures from the project. As Esa told, the end result was building up the ERP for Puuilo based on the Odoo. And when we started the project, we were starting with Odoo 9, and currently, while we're speaking, we are just making the upgrades towards 11. And based on the what we've seen this week here, we're probably going to change the plan and go directly to 12, but that still remains to be seen, but that's quite probable that we will choose that option. We need also some other softwares, as Esa told, on top of the Odoo. So here you can see basically the full scope of the core processes for Puuilo. If we start from the critical part from any retail business, it's the master data and especially the product data. And as you could see from Esa's presentation, the main solution for the product information management is Akeneo, so open source PIM system. And That's where the life cycle of any product will start from. It will be created there. It will be enriched with the data which is needed in the web shop, point of sales, and also in Odoo. We have the integrations towards the campaign and marketing material tool, which is Adobe InDesign, and basically this is used also for sending out the marketing campaigns and material to basically all households in Finland. As you can see from the picture, Puuilo is a real multi-channel retail company. So the sales are taking place not only in 2 web shops, one in Finland and one in Sweden, but also in the point of sales, and then also in the Odoo backend, where some of the B2B sales is created directly in the Odoo. If you go further to right, the old purchasing processes are included in Odoo. As I mentioned, all the imports from China, Europe, Netherlands, the domestic Finnish suppliers, everything is covered with the Odoo purchasing. The purchasing is linked to the major domestic suppliers. So basically the purchasing process and the goods received process is pretty much automated for the majority of the goods flows. And once we receive the goods to the shops and the warehouses, we start using the Odoo warehousing applications. It's basically covering all the goods flows, including inbound goods movements from the suppliers, all the internal transports between the shops and the main warehouse. And all of these processes are basically supported by the mobile app called Ventor, which we're going to present to you in a couple of minutes. And in the warehousing area, there is an integration towards the third-party logistic companies. It's done via Unifound Connector, which is a pretty common integration platform in the Scandinavia. So that enables us to use basically any important logistic service providers. And for example, typical example is to deliver the web shop parcels to the end customers. The process basically ends to cash in the sales, and that happens in the invoicing and accounting. So basically there is a full-blown accounts receivable features, including invoicing, reporting, included in Odoo. And the data is then distributed to financial systems where the bookkeeping is taking place, and also to Click BI management information reporting system, which is mainly used for providing the management the daily KPIs like sales per shop, by product categories and so forth. But also actually Odoo is pretty much able to do the same thing, and but that's more used by the actual end users on the daily operations. So if you have a quick look into the volumes, so what's happening in the business on daily and monthly and even yearly basis, you can see that there's quite a lot of traffic and data flowing in and out from the system. That's due to the fact that the shops are basically open 7 days a week. The web shop is of course 24/7. There are altogether currently 30 warehouses in Puuilo. We started somewhere from 16 warehouses, so during the course of the couple of last years, the business has basically doubled. And of course, that's partially due to the fact that Odoo and the other solutions what we've selected are enabling this kind of fast growth for the company. The database size is 200 gigabytes currently. Concurrent users currently around 220, 50 on the peak hours during the afternoon. Altogether 350 users in the system. Stock locations 5,000. Stock locations are used for in the shops and of course in the main warehouse where the pallet places and the stock bins are described as Odoo stock locations. Number of invoices per month 14,000 for B2B clients. Stock moves per day, so every day 50,000 stock moves minimum. And in some peak days in campaign situation, it's definitely even more. Active products currently around 60,000, and yeah, so these are the numbers currently. Having all of this, we definitely face some challenges as well. If you think about the typical use case for Puuilo, you can see a couple of them here. One of the requirements were to enable creation of purchase order lines with hundreds of lines within a minute. And similarly, the same purchase order needed to be received to stock very quickly and fluently. Another use case could be that you want to see your available stock on your own shop for a certain supplier in a couple of seconds. It didn't happen in an out-of-the-box solution, so we need to figure out how to do that. And then, for example, some of the sales managers in the shops would like to see the last 3 months' sales per product category. Here are a couple of practical examples what we needed to get out of the system. And of course, on top of this, if you think about 250, 220 concurrent users in the system, having the peak hour in the shops, rush hours in Friday afternoon, everything have to work smoothly without any delays and so forth. So the system have to be super fast. So how to do that? First of all, you have to have state-of-the-art technology behind the bonnet. So all the servers need to have the CPUs, disk and memory, which are the latest technology. Also the data lines within the shop itself, the Wi-Fi lines, and the connections from the shop to the actual servers, they needed to be high speed. Also the hardware like PCs, laptops, mobile phones even, and then the industrial scanners, which we're gonna see soon here, they needed to be the best available. Then one, in a way, funny thing what we discovered during the journey was that we actually found out that by decreasing the number of CPUs, virtual CPUs in the server, we increased the performance considerably. That's due to the fact that the virtualization layer needs to compare with the actual hardware, which is in the actual server side. So by decreasing the CPUs, we gained some speed to the system. We did a lot of code analysis. We used tools like PyFlame and PG Batches to find the bottlenecks in the processes. And those were very, very good tools. We could quite quickly get into the actual root causes of the slownesses in the system. And we did some work out related to the Postgres tuning. Just to mention a few, you can see on the right side of the screen. It's about memory settings, for example, and making the auto vacuuming of the database taking place automatically. Related to the reports, we by using the Postgres materialized views, we could decrease the time of getting, and for example, a point of sales report. We decreased the time to get the report from 200 seconds to 6 seconds. And I would like to thank the Odoo team to support us in one specific case, especially it was the negative quants or negative stocks in general. That caused some trouble to us during the implementation stages, as the system was, especially the point of sales, was generating some negative stocks into the system, and that caused some slowness in the other goods movements and stock moves in the system. But Odoo provided a pretty neat scripts to us, which we could deal with this issue. And then what you need to do, definitely, in such an environment as this, you need to have some kind of facts, what's happening in your system. So this is the tool what we're using currently in order to see what the servers and the databases, so how they are, what's the utilizations in the different parts of the system. So we're using Zabbix for that. The good things with Zabbix is that you can also have the kind of dashboard views where you can, with the one view, see the critical things, what are happening in the system. You can also trigger alerts if needed. And the other good thing with the Zabbix is that you can actually go to the very detailed level of monitoring of your system. For example, checking the database level deadlocks even. So it can go dig down to the very details of the Odoo database processes as well. Okay, and at this point I want to thank you, and I will hand over the stage back to Esa, who is talking about the benefits gained. Thanks.
Hello again. I think we are running out of time soon. I will very quickly go through a few benefits Odoo has given to Puuilo. It took 9 months to define the needs and select the vendors, but then only 8 months to build all the systems. So altogether, in 17 months from the very first meeting with CEO of Puuilo, all the old systems were gone, and Odoo was there controlling the business and the other systems. And during that period, 0 hours of sales breaks during the project. I think that was quite amazing. Of course, there are those 3 words really meant us a lot. Community, modularity, integrations. Community made it possible to use some modules some of you have made for us. Multiple EAN codes, invoice merging module. Thank you for your help. That modularity makes it also possible to launch the system in phases. We had no big bang problems, and also we could see all the time something is happening, and it was also make much easier at Puuilo to pay those huge bills those Sprint IT guys were sending all the time for us, because something was really ready at the time. Also those integrations, there are a lot of integrations. We are not using the Odoo POS or WebShop, but it's a question of life cycle. POS and e-com system has to be replaced much more often than ERP or PIM system. That's the reason why we used a lot of integrations and different systems. Puuilo is growing fast, and it has been very easy to implement new warehouses and new business even to other countries during these years. Then a few words about the business benefits. They are quite clear. 3 years ago, there were thousands of Excel sheets to manage the data. Now, everything, all the product data is in Odoo. Easy to achieve, easy to implement. Also, in our webshop, we now know if the product is available or not, because Odoo knows it and tells to webshop, and it makes the product owners in Puuilo very happy. And all the sales reports are in real time. 3 years ago, they were calculated once a month, and the inventory value we get once a year. Now they are all real time in order. Of course, there are plenty of those benefits Odoo has been able to give, but now the last, but not the least, benefit, the handheld devices. Please welcome Mr. Vital.
Morning, everyone. My name is Vitaly, and okay, it's better. Okay, thanks. So, and in this project, our company were responsible for the mobile part of the implementation. So the goal was to integrate barcode scanners and connect it to the Odoo ERP to make it possible to work more than 100 users with these scanners. So, to better understand what we have done, let's start from the requirements. Okay. So, up to 200 mobile barcode terminals had to connect to Odoo across all offline stores through the mobile application. Users had to have access to a certain set of functions for managing inventory stock and needed the ability to easily resupply products to be sure there was always enough products in stock. The solution must have intuitive interface and simple UI to reduce the number of errors that users could make during their daily work. So at that time, we already had the solution. It's a Ventor application, formerly known like MERP warehouse. And we decided to not reinvent the wheel and integrate this application, just slightly adjust. So because this application has a clear UI, big easy to click buttons, straightforward logic, it's fully customizable, so we can adjust interface by role, by business roles, by users, give any access right. It's a proven solution, so more than 1,000 mobile users around the world working on it, and needs support of Odoo community and Odoo enterprise, including just released Odoo 12. So if there are some customers here, you will receive an update next week. What we have done. So the new Puuilo version is a branded version of the app with the Puuilo logo. It gives the access to product info, including images, product availability across all the shops, and forecasted quantity in specific location. It's one-click access to updating quantity on hand or making a procurement request for any product at any warehouse. So, but it's better to see, right? Right now on the background, you will see the real copy of production database with 100,000 products loaded there and more than 10,000 locations. So it's a real production database, a copy of this. And the server is far, far away. It's not installed on my local machine. On front, you will see the mobile application where I mirror the screen here. It means I can click, and you will see everything that I will see here. So let's try to make inventory update. Yeah. So now I can scan. Here's the barcodes. So it's searching, and now we see the image, the EAN, the price, all that customer wanted to see on one single screen. Moreover, we can scroll down to see the items in all offline shops and make sure we can make a procurement request in the right place. So let's try to update quantity right now. So we have 70 in last stock. Clicking here. So there is no virtual keyboard, but you have one on the mobile phone. Let's update it to 75. I click in only hardware buttons. By the way, I prefer the hardware buttons. You can work in gloves, no problem. Click in OK and apply. Not in warehouse, in shops, yeah. So you can check the product, you can see the picture. So the quantity was updated, now it's 75. The same way we can make a procurement request right from this screen. I can choose another warehouse, for example. So I want to supply it to this one. 10, it's okay, I guess. So, click cancel. Just a second. So let's try it again. Yeah, it depends on your procurement request and procurement order. So it depends, do you need to produce this item, or you need to resupply it, or you need to make a real purchase order. So it will be then, it will be the decision of the manager then, so based on the rules. One minute? Okay, so let's cancel it. So same way we can scan any item in any location and make a procurement request or update quantity on hand. And if you need just to update, sorry, it's another application. Yeah, we are here. So if you need just to update, you have another function, so we can discuss it after the event because we have no time more. So now, let's summarize, just quickly summarize. So Puuilo does all warehouse operations now using a barcode scanner only, no papers anymore. Around 150 scanners work at least 12 hours per day in 25 shops for the last year and a half. More than 100,000 lines per day are updated through this application every single day. Thank you.
Thank you, Vitali. It was a great presentation. At this point, I would like to take the opportunity and thank you, Puuilo team, Juhana, Jarmo. You've been a great professionals in the project. I want to thank the Expansa VentorTech team, Vitali, Oleg. Great job, great apps, and especially the best of the best teams, Sprint IT team. Thanks a lot for the support on the journey. Thank you all.